So our first question comes from Jared Christian at random_name. Great Twitter handle. I mean, it's just, okay, cool. He says, thanks for the podcast. I want to know what anime moments most affected you. Watch Party for Log Horizon. Sorry, that didn't win, but...
This is impossible to do without spoiling stuff.
I know.
Right.
So hard.
There's a moment in like the 7th episode of Gurren Lagann that destroyed me.
Wow.
Like they do a thing, and you're like, "There's no way they're doing this," and then like there's this weird fade out where the show goes from like full color to like pencil sketches to white, and it's just like, "Oh, they're doing it! They killed that person forever."
Oh my god.
Spoilers! I mean, someone has to die always, so it's fine.
But it's like the thing I appreciate about anime is that a lot of these stories are self-contained, one season, maybe two most of the time. Like the best stuff for me is always shorter series. So there is stakes on the table, and people are at risk a lot of the time, and there's tension in a way that like a Daredevil show or like some ongoing thing that will go on for as long as possible. Like nobody in Friends is ever actually in any danger of having bad things happen to them.
Right. I mean, it's very unlikely that they would have ever killed any of them off.
Sure.
And
just
like happy succumb, whatever.
Even in Bleach or something like Naruto, like those kids are fine. They're going to be okay. Dramatic things might happen, but they're going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, like they might
want you to buy the toys.
Right. They might kill off like a side character, but I
Sure.
mean, even then, like they'll be picky about who they kill. Like who's
Yeah.
killing us? No, just kidding. But
And Trigun has a lot of that same stuff too. Like it's my favorite show because they take a lot of major risks to make major things happen that whatever, I don't want to spoil that show. Just watch Trigun. It's incredible.
Yeah, so the hard thing about anime too is like with spoilers is that a lot of people go back to watch things on like, you know, like some shows where it's like, oh, it's been like 10 years since it's been on. It's like, no, someone spoil it. Do not.
Spoilers are like sacred to me.
No,
Yeah,
so
I
I have to tell this story really fast. To this day, I have a hard time spoiling the big event in Final Fantasy VII because 2 hours out of that event, my best friend and I were on the phone. She didn't even play video games. She didn't play Final Fantasy VII, and she spoiled it for me on the phone. And I, to this day, am kind of bitter about that.
That's why you're not friends anymore.
How?
Why?
We continued to be friends for a while, and then we sort of just, you know, the friendship sort of faded out. But yeah, I was a little angry about that because that was the first game that I could remember where it wasn't the first Final Fantasy where a character died, but it was the first major character to die, and how they died was super impactful,
Sure.
and it was a moment of pathos for so many fans. And I didn't get to, I still bawled. Even with like the CD skipping, my CD actually started skipping. My PlayStation CD started skipping during that scene. I was I already knew what was going to happen. I still cried hysterically. But that's sort of like, I'm with Mitch. I'm like, I'm really careful about spoilers because I still remember that.
But the thing is, even though you cried, you don't have that moment of like,
yeah, you don't have that.
You don't get that
oh my
shock.
God.
It doesn't like stay with you that same way.
Yeah, it's not as like effective, and it's the same thing with anime. It's like there's been moments, but how do you not entirely
So
spoil it?
whenever something gets spoiled for me, what I do is I just put it in the back of my mind
I forget most of the time.
and
too.
try to forget
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to play it. Now I will not play this for however long.
Yeah.
And I'll just get to it sometime. And then hopefully the spoiler will fade. And I was trying to remember because something got spoiled for me like really badly. And I was like, I don't remember what it was now. That's fine.
I have like aggressively deleted Game of Thrones spoilers from my memory. There are things that have happened. I've been like, oh, right, I knew that. Awesome.
Right.
And I experienced it fresh. It's great.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but
I
it is a
can't.
gift.
You just force yourself.
I don't know, because I in a past work life, I was trying to finish The Walking Dead season 1, and my cube mate at the time, Corey, Mitch knows who I'm talking about. He just blurts out the
Corey
ending.
does not care about spoilers.
No,
at
he
all.
doesn't.
He's just like,
Like,
give
I
them
have a
to me. I
coworker.
need them.
He
Corey
just-
is being put on blast
Yes.
right now.
It's okay. He doesn't care. I know he won't. But he just blurted out the major spoiler for like the last episode of season 1. And I just turned to
Dude.
him and I was like, what? I haven't gone there yet. And he goes, oh, sorry. I thought you had. And I can't forget it because I'm
Nope.
so angry about it.
Oh my
Forever
God.
rage.
Remember
Most,
that- yeah.
Are most people's like most impactful moments death? Because I can only think of one off the top of my head.
No.
In Cowboy
No.
Bebop, where it's like, it's not a death, but it's one of the most powerful moments in the entire show. Second to last episode.
Oh, Mitch.
Well, I mean,
That's
that
a
makes
teaser.
sense, though.
That's a
I
teaser.
mean,
That's not a
like,
spoiler.
You
That's
should
a
probably
teaser.
expect impactful moments in the last episode.
There are many important things that happen at the end of Cowboy Bebop. Surprise.
That gives me something to look forward to. So
Yeah.
I don't know about other people, but I hate actually knowing anything about pacing because I don't want to actually go into it with any expectations.
That makes sense.
You ever see the episode of the IT Crowd where they were like, "Oh, it's that Tarantino flick. Is that the one with the twist at the end?" And they're all like, "Ah, I don't want to know there's a twist at the end." I think it was the IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Pretty
Sounds
good.
about right.
You can make fun of me, but I know there are other people out there who would agree with me.
Yeah, I understand. Like I wrote an editorial about spoilers for IGN because I hate them. I hate people who
Yeah,
spoil
yep.
stuff.
It's like if you actually spoil things, you're just one of the worst people. Like if you
Correct.
just do it
Yeah.
happily.
Don't
like,
rob
oh,
people
yeah,
of that
blah, blah,
joy.
blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you
Do you
just.
remember the PR person who
stealing that
sent out the
moment.
spoiler, the Game of Thrones spoiler
that
in
was
the
super
headline,
awesome.
and Greg was furious?
Greg and I both sent her a nasty email, and she sent us a gift basket.
Oh, I
And
remember
we're like,
that.
"Cool, this is, you still spoiled everything."
Oh gosh.
It had been 24 hours too.
Oh man. Yeah, it's like at least 24 hours for certain things. Like Game of Thrones. Like if you're in the office, like I don't like to talk about things. Like you usually be polite, ask if they've seen something. Just ask people first. Don't just blurt
Yep.
out big important things.
Yep.